Woo. Getting my stream set up so I can just chill, because this is on a whim, as all my streams are. Oh, hello, 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 hello. Hang on, I'm doing things, I'm announcing things and whatever, so just give me a minute. There we go. That's linked out on the Discord. Hello, hello people, hello. I'm just getting everything set up. I sound very unenthusiastic, but trust me, I'm very enthusiastic right now. Hello, Sky. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Artsy Waffle. Thank you. I'm honestly shocked. How's my day been? It's been pretty good. How's you guys' day going? I've had a good day. I'm in a very good mood. I'm in a very good mood, but I have no inspiration to draw for some reason, as it usually goes. So I'm just waiting before I really start looking for questions, because yeah, but so I'm just clicking around a little bit. Wee-oo. Doing some click-clacking around. I don't know. I do weird voices when I'm alone. Goodness. Especially when I'm in a good mood. I just talk to myself. It's really weird, but it's great. Alright. So. When YouTube doesn't notify. Don't worry, Pythonist. I literally just started. Yeah. Yeah, so. Hold on. I usually give 5 minutes. But, whatever. We'll start doing, I'll pay attention to the chat now. Let's go from here. I'll paying attention to the chat. do, 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 do. Do I have any pets? I do have some pets. I have a few dogs and a cat, although they're technically, some of them are more my stepfamily's pets, but that's fine. Wait, do you have to ask questions? Not necessarily. It might be helpful, but, you know, I'm just this casual stream. If you don't mind answering what's your sexuality, I platonically love you. I'm pansexual or bisexual, whatever you believe exists. I don't know. I don't care. Sorry, I'm gonna try to read them as they come, and I'm just gonna try not to skip over any. So yeah, already talked about that. I have to get in a better habit of actually reading the names of people who ask the questions so they know I'm addressing them. But anyway, R Fox Studios, who's your favorite out of the Luniverse cast? Probably Vanessa. Just because I can't get into why, because it's so spoilery, but she's been my favorite, coming up with her story and stuff like that. I don't know why, but she is. So yeah. What is your opinion on homemade soap, Josie Callahan? I mean, I don't really have an opinion, I guess. It's cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't really use handmade soap, I guess. I don't know. 348795 asks, whatever gave you the motivation to be a YouTube artist and how did you start? I'm thinking of being one myself. I just saw other people doing it and I was like, hey, this looks really cool. So I'm going to do it. So yes, that's how I got started. It's just basically, if you want to do it, just go do it, you know? That's just, yeah, that's how YouTube works. In Luniverse, who is your favorite OC you can tell us about? That'd still be Vanessa, but I mean, I say that and after I said that I can't talk too much about her, but I can talk about her, just not a whole lot, just not in great detail. I can talk about her just as much as I can talk about anyone else, in a way. What grade are you? I'm a senior. I'm going to be graduating this year, or not this year, next year. Question, what inspired you to make a channel? I already kind of answered that. What's your favorite and least favorite fandom? Oh, good. I can't keep up with these questions. Okay, I'm going to have to just... I'll keep up how I can, guys, but I'm not going to be able to... Don't be afraid to send questions if I miss it, because, you know, I'm skipping around a little bit because this chat moves kind of quick, and if I keep just hovering over questions, I'm never going to get to things. Anyway, so what was the question? Favorite and least favorite? Well, I don't know if I'd have a least favorite. What? Oh, sorry. I'm looking at a comment. Sorry. But goodness. Oh, sorry. I'm reading something else off screen. You guys can't see it, but this person did not understand a thing that I did at all. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway. Sorry. Favorite and least favorite. I mean, I don't have a least favorite. Like, I don't... How would you have a least favorite? Like, least favorite one that you're in? Because why would you be in a fan if you didn't like... I don't know if I can answer the second one. My favorite one, I don't really know. I'm not really that invested in fandoms that much, so, you know, I don't get that deep into it, so, yeah, so, sorry. Stale Artist asks, opinions on overrated meme animators or animators in general? Oh, goodness. I'm probably going to get a little bit controversial, but honestly, I know a lot of people make a big deal about, like, oh my god, how dare they have, like, fans when they're not as good as I expect them to be. Here's my thing. You can criticize them. You're fully allowed to criticize them. But I think the argument of, like, this person doesn't deserve this amount of fans because their content isn't what I want it to be, I think that's a stupid argument. Because, like... If they got their fans, if their fans willingly click that subscribe button and their fans genuinely enjoy the content, doesn't matter how old the fans are, doesn't matter their demographic, if they got those fans, they can't control it, you know? I mean, you can say, like, I think it's perfectly valid to feel sad that there are, like, underrated animators and things like that don't have a lot of attention, because, you know, like, because I get it. I get frustrated too when I see someone who's, like, really underrated and they don't have a lot of followers, but, like, there's certain other people who do get followers. But at the same time, how on earth you don't control getting followers unless you bot, which is just a different subject on itself, but, like, unless you buy bots, you don't control people following you. So it's not a creator's fault for being, like, for getting popular, you know? So I always thought the whole argument of, like, how dare they be popular, I think it's just kind of silly. Because, again, it's not their choice. They just put themselves out there and they get stuff, you know? That's just how it is. But, yeah, so... Do I like milk? Asks Professor Dalton. Yeah, it's alright, I guess. Not really my favorite thing in the world, but sure. What's your opinion? Shoot YouTube asks, what is your opinion on people randomly giving llamas on DA? I mean, you can, so that's fine. I don't. Do people have strong opinions about that kind of thing? Goodness. Because if they do, I've never heard about them. So, Jenny H asks, how do you feel about twist villains as a story element? I like twist villains when they're done correctly. I like basically most things in stories if it's done correctly. FL exclamation point asks, how did you learn anatomy? Any advice for beginning artists for trying to learn anatomy? I know it's not going to be very different than anyone else would tell you, but you practice and you look up references. So, yeah. God, I'm sorry. I'm like a little bit irked here because someone like is replying to me as if I am being like the irrational person for making something that they did not read. Anyway, sorry. Not going to get into that. It's fine. But anyway, I'm just going to go to another tab. I need to stop looking at that. Okay. Artsy Waffle, hey, at TheZodiacLord, my friends are taking my art I leave in a folder at school and start trying to give it away without my permission? Well, that's not really a question. I don't know what you want me to say about that, but that's shitty. I think tell them to stop, and if they don't stop, I think you need some better friends because that's really rude and disrespectful. So yeah. Bookworm, what do you think about Procreate on the iPad Pro? I do 99% of my art on there, so I think that is my opinion in a nutshell. Jenny H, now that you're about to become an adult, what are your plans for the future? I don't want to get into that right now. I'm good. I'm good about talking about my future plans right now. Just because everyone in my real life keeps asking me, and I'm going to abstain from answering just because I've talked about it so much recently, and I'm kind of want to take a break from it. Stale Artist asks, any advice for struggling beginners in digital art? I mean, depends what you're struggling with. Might have to be a little bit more specific. Ember Tia 529B, thoughts on silhouettes for characters? Like, what do you mean? Like, just my thoughts on the concept as a whole, or like, I'm a little confused what the question is. R Fox Studios, what's your fast? What? What? I don't understand what that is. Zephyr R asks, does Procreate have clipping layers? No, not that I've seen. It does not have clipping layers, but you can get around that. I meant what's your favorite subject in school? I don't really know. I used to... I don't know. I guess theater, animation, I used to have... I swear, I'm like the most indecisive person in the world. I'm very indifferent to a lot of things. This Little Miss Smelly asks, this girl in my class copied my art style, and I know it's not a big deal, but it bothers me. I'm really unsure on what to do. Your advice? Just talk to her, I guess. I mean, you can't really get anything done if you don't talk to someone, so if you think she's copying you intentionally, then just talk to her and bring up your concerns. Honestly, that would solve 90% of the world's problems, but people don't like talking to people, apparently. Flower the Burb, what art programs have you used in the past, and or what is your current drawing program? My current one is Procreate that I use all the time, and I used to use Photoshop, but then I got an iPad Pro, and suddenly I became very attached to using it, so yeah. Bookworm, what's your favorite genre of music and favorite song? I don't have a favorite. I switch that kind of thing all the time. It depends. It 100% depends on my mood in the moment. So I legit, if of all things in the world, that I had a favorite for. Music is the one I have no favorites. Does Procreate have transparency lock? Yes, it does. Archangel? I think you're saying Archangel. Oh goodness. Still artist. Okay, so like I guess how did you get such a strong grip with digital art? How did you get so comfortable with it? For example, I find that my traditional art is much more there's a part 2 to that, but hang on. I'll answer that when I see the part 2. How do you shade? And I'm having trouble, so any advice? I already asked this, but I didn't do it right. So, I guess, well, I don't know how to explain it in words. I mean, the way I shade, I just kind of do, I do erase away shading. So I'll have like the shading cover the entire like subject or character, and then I erase it according to where the light source is. And I tend to use multiply a lot, and I use usually with like a dull purple or pinkish color, depending on the colors of the base piece and such. So that's just kind of a few things. Hang on, there's the second part of this thing. Okay. Stale Artist asks in whole, I guess, how did you get such a strong grip with digital art? How did you get so comfortable with it? For example, I find my traditional art is much more pleasant to look at, but when I take that same drawing and make it digitally, it just gets weird, and making it detailed and pleasant to look at, I'm finding is extremely hard. I'm sorry, but the only answer is just practice with digital art. It's just like drawing in general. You have to get used to it. It doesn't come to you naturally. To get comfortable with it, you have to just keep doing it, you know? So I know that's not necessarily the answer you want to hear, but that's the truth of it. It's just, you gotta keep practicing and trying and figuring out what works. Oh goodness. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's questions. I'm skipping to the bottom again. Pythonist, excited for San Japan? I'm very excited for San Japan. I'm very excited. I leave tomorrow. I'm so excited. Jenny H., what's your main inspiration for coming up with stories? I always have trouble coming up with plots for characters I create. Well, I get inspiration from a lot of places. I get it from music. I can come up with a whole story. I have a story, a fully written story I need to go back and edit that fully was inspired off of a single song. So it comes from a lot of places. And then sometimes it just comes from, like, what if questions. Like, geez, what if thing was person? I'm basically Pixar with all of their movies. What is your inspiration? Bookworm. What is your inspirations in writing and character creation? That's just, again, like, it can come from anywhere. Sometimes it comes out of need. Sometimes it comes out of just anything generally. It comes from a lot of places. There's not really a lot of, I don't have a specific place I go. Zephyr R asks, do you enjoy lo-fi music? I mean, not any more than any other kind of music, I guess. I'm not really sure. Fox Studios, do you have any tips for making good story arcs and or characters arcs? Just generally, not really. I need something a bit more specific. Because this is slight tangent here, but this is the only reason it's really hard for me to answer things like how to make good blank, because there's no one way to make a story. There's no one way to make a character. There's no one way to write, no one way to draw. It all depends on what works for you, and it all depends on what you have access to and what your practice and, you know, just all sorts of things. It's just, you know, I can't give solid advice most of the time because there's so many directions you could go, and I feel terrible if I gave you advice that works for me but wouldn't work for you because you're different. Like, you write differently from me, you think differently from me, you know? So unfortunately, there is not just one kind of advice I can give you when it comes to writing good stories and good characters. except for experiment and test the waters, experience it too, like read things, watch things, you know. So yeah, do you have any AP classes this year? No. I am not about that. Do you have any tips for drawing gender ambiguous characters? I mean, it would depend what you're going for, I guess. Physically, it would just be a matter of balancing traits, balancing feminine and masculine physical traits. If it comes to clothing, that's still kind of a similar thing. But really, you can make anyone kind of look gender ambiguous. I mean, I've been told, for some reason, I guess I have a habit where a lot of my characters are gender ambiguous and I don't even try. So, I can't tell you how many times I've, like, shown a character to Michie. She's like, oh, he looks so nice. And I'm like, that's a girl. So, you know, it's just a lot of balancing traits, really. And do your research, like, on things, because believe it or not, there are biological differences between men and women. That's just the truth. My friend traces, should I talk to her about it? And if yes, what do I say? I would talk to her about it if it bothers. If I would come at it from an angle of, like, just that you don't want them to get caught up in shit for tracing. Obviously, it depends. If they're just tracing for practice and they're not claiming it's theirs and not posting it everywhere, that's different. That's totally okay. That's an actual legitimate art technique. But if they're actually tracing and taking the art as their own and, you know, stuff like that, that's different. And I would tell them, because I've kind of had to deal with something similar. Not lately, but kind of recently-ish, where there was a friend who was kind of copying something down to a T, and they were entering it in a contest, and a friend of mine were concerned because it felt unfair to other people entering, and we also didn't want them to go down a tunnel that they couldn't return from of tracing and things like that and getting in trouble for that and things like, you know. So I would just come at it from a direction of being concerned and seeing that you don't want their, like, potential to be squashed because they trace things and then have them have problems in the future because of it, you know. So yeah, I hope that helps. Have you read Homestuck, and if so, then what's your favorite character? I have read Homestuck, and I have a lot of favorite characters. I love that. I have a passionate hate-love for Vriska. I love Terezi and Karkat. I love John, just generally. So yeah. Have you ever traveled outside of your country? Yes, I went to London over the summer, actually. So yeah. Listening to this while doing AP homework. Awesome. I don't know if I should ask, but do you know how to come out to people? It depends what people you're coming out to, because I don't really want to say there's one way to come out, because it depends who you're talking to and what the situation is and things like that. Because I mean, there's plenty of people I don't ever because I'm kind of different than probably what a lot of people do, because the way I've always been is I don't really come out to people if I don't feel like it's that important. And what I mean by that is just, like, if it's a teacher that I'm going to have and I'll probably have them for that year and never see them again, I don't really bother correcting them, because as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really affect me. As weird as it sounds, my relationship, I guess, with, like, my gender identity is that I'm more concerned on myself feeling happy and accepting myself than I am about everybody knowing what pronouns I use. You know, I that's always how I've felt, you know, and again, that's not everybody's thing. And I think that if people really want people to know who they are, then that's great. And I think they should do that, so long as they're not shoving it down people's throats and being very obnoxious about it. But I don't really come out that often. I've done it to my family, but my family's pretty chill about things, and, you know, that's just, you know, it depends on your situation. My characters from my stories have very different designs, and it's hard to draw them together because their designs are all very, very different. Advice? Well, if you're having a hard time, if you really think they don't belong together, then my advice would be, as heartbreaking as it's going to sound, my advice would be to change their designs so they fit together. If that's something that's important to their story and you really, if it's not feeling right for them to look so drastically different, then you might need to just change their designs. I know nobody ever wants to hear that with characters, is that you might just need to like change their designs, but that's the reality of things. With characters, sometimes you have to change them. That's the reality of it. Your characters usually are going to change if you let them. As weird as it sounds. But yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the Crystally drama? If you made a video about it. It was another tracer that was being a jackass, and I don't know. I think everything that's been said has already been said, so I don't really have any new opinions on it. Did you hear about the new Netflix show, The Dragon Prince? If so, who's your favorite? I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, so. How do you color your art? I usually select all of the lines. I invert the selection, or I select outside the lines, and then I invert it, and then I fill it, and then normally, unless I'm sketching and I'm not really that worried about it being clean, normally what I do is I actually, this is for Procreate, by the way. I do it with clipping masks if Procreate had clipping masks. I will select the base color, which will usually be the skin tone. I don't know why, but that's usually what I do. And I'll basically color sections. I'll make new layers with that selected and color on top, if that makes sense. And then if there's anything else I have to color inside that, I lock the layer and color things from there. So, and it has become very helpful with shading now. It's being very useful. So, what is your pencil setting on Procreate? I literally just use like a technical pencil. Yeah, I use a good old technical pencil that comes with the thing. Believe it or not, I use a lot of default brushes. Goodness, hang on. You know, I'm gonna BRB. I just need to reply to this comment so I can get out of my notifications. So. Sorry, I'm typing. Hey, you know what? You guys want me to go on a tangent about something? Because I have a tangent I could go on. I have a very passionate tangent I could go on about a recent thing I've been trying that's kind of upset me mildly. Let's see. Yes. Okay, apparently everyone wants me to. So, goodness. For context, I'm trying something new with my commissions recently. I'm doing it where I kind of am setting it up where it's like kind of a raffle style for commission slots, because I always feel upset because my commissions close very, very quickly when I open them. So I feel like it's very unfair for people who aren't online all day, therefore miss because they aren't online for the 4 hours they're open. So I thought if I tried doing it where it's a bit more fair and it's a bit more raffly styled, whatever, then maybe I could, it'd be more fair to people. And obviously it's an experiment. I knew for a fact that there's a chance it could just not work at all. And so far it's kind of half working, half not. So, I don't know. But I did consider doing it where I'm just like, hey, fill out the form, send it to me and I'll pick. But I felt, I know myself and I knew I would be biased because A, I would gravitate towards previous customers because I trust them. And B, I would definitely gravitate towards commissions that sound more fun or that have characters that are visually appealing to me. And that to me just felt unfair. Like I was snubbing people because maybe they don't have a high quality reference or because they haven't had their character drawn yet or because they didn't want something that I considered more fun than something else. So I decided I wanted to do it a raffle way so that everyone could kind of have a chance. Everyone could kind of, like have equal opportunity to get a slot if they wanted one, and it wouldn't be first come, first serve and all that. So that's what I've been trying. And I mean, if any of you here are interested and you have a DeviantArt, you can go to my DeviantArt. It's still open for like 24 hours. So, so I'm trying. And I think it needs a little bit of refinement because, oh God, it has reminded me that, by God, people on the internet do not read. And this journal has driven me crazy because of it. Now, I want to say this because two of the people because one of the things is that I have a password in my journal that I use for commissions because it proves that you read everything and you read the information. And I'm very lenient with this. I understand some people skim. I understand, and like I have buddies that will totally skip over like reading my commissions because they kind of know me better. But in those cases, I often let it slide because I trust them. So I know they're not going to do something shitty or they're going to expect something from me I can't actually do, So, but for this raffle, there were like two like previous commissioners, two buddies who they didn't put the password, but I wasn't mad because they hadn't had to do it before because I never corrected them because in private, I just kind of let it slide. But the reason I corrected them for the raffle is because I want it to be fair for everybody else. And I also decided, since this is the first time I'm doing this, every time someone has commented without the password, and it's a very subtle password too, so you can't just get it from looking at the other comments, haha, because I'm smart. But I understand like that some people might have missed it because they got excited, but they do know what they're doing. So I have been telling people like, hey, I would love to have you, but you're missing something from your comment. So that my hope would be that they go back and read it. And I've had that. I've had people calmly go correct themselves. And to me, that's okay. That's cool. Oh, good. But what's driving me insane is that there have been so many people who've commented and then replied to their own comment, which if you know anything about DeviantArt, that's really irritating. So for any of you on DeviantArt, you're not a bad person if you do this. I understand. But please never reply to your own comment to correct yourself because the person will not see it. It will not show up in their notifications. They can only see you reply to yourself if they go to the original post. So if you say, hey, I'm interested, and the person never looks at the original post, and then you reply to yourself saying that oh, never mind, I'm sorry, I was wrong. The person's never going to see it. So just tip if you're on DeviantArt, if you comment on something incorrectly and you want to take it back, don't reply to your own just hide your comment. Please. It saves people so much headache and no one will think twice about it, okay? Just trust me on this, all right? Because that's been because I've gotten quite a few people on that journal who commented either not reading the journal, so they think it's just an actual raffle for free artwork, which it is not. It's not a free artwork. It's not for free artwork. So they comment on that thinking it is for free, but it's not this person clearly thought this was for free, that I still haven't replied to yet, you know? And then there's also people who comment and then they reply to their own comment, saying like, oh, never mind, I didn't have money. And I'm like, please, we would have avoided this situation if you would have just read the whole journal and you saw that I put in there that, hey, you need to have the money ready. It's just, God, it's so infuriating because I get this so much where people will ask me questions that are right there in the post that I wrote. Like, I get it on pictures too. I'll post a picture of a character, I'll put in a whole description of the context of the picture, and someone will ask, oh, this character's so cute, what are they from? And I'm like, and I just die a little inside because I'm like, it's right there. The answer to your question was answered before you asked it. Oh, good. I know I'm a little exaggeratedly angry. This isn't something that keeps me up at night, but it's just I've gotten this on this commission raffle journal. And luckily, I've gotten plenty of people who've done it correctly, and it makes me feel like I am doing something right. I just think this needs a little bit of refinement. In fact, I think if I do this again, I think what I'm going to do is have it so you don't need the password, but if you do it, you get like an extra ticket in a sense. So like, basically you get a second, like 2 chances to win. But I'm not sure. Although obviously based on like how this person's replying to me, it definitely seems like I need that password because clearly they didn't read. So, just please guys, when it comes to getting, there's a bit of a difference when you're commenting on something and you're just commenting like this is cute, or you're commenting some basic criticism, that's different. But if you are going to get a commission or you're going to comment on something that's like a raffle or anything, for example, please read before you comment and message someone. Please, for everybody's sake. It helps the other person's mental state, and it helps you look like, and it just helps you so you know what you're getting into. Because to me, what it feels like, it's basically like signing a contract before reading the terms and conditions. Because the thing is, with a lot of these people, without them reading my rules, this means they're basically agreeing to my commission terms without reading them. So if I do something, they might think I'm pulling like the wool over their eyes because they didn't read my rules. The rules are not there just for me. They are there for you too, so you know what you're getting into. It's the terms and conditions, but that's my that is my tangent. So let me finish writing this response. So I don't know. Anyone want to give me another tangent, like a topic to go on a tangent for? I love doing those. La, 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 la. Thank you for bringing that up. People never read, and I honestly have no reason why they wouldn't. Because people are lazy. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of the internet. And also just because some people just don't like reading. Like, sorry, I'll go on my tangents after I finish this reply. I'm sorry, I really need to. I can't type and talk at the same time. I don't know why. I can't do that. My brain has to focus on one or the other, or I do stupid things. that took all my willpower not to be very sassy with that person. God, I swear, I do that, like, I have to deal with that all the time. I have to, like, I always have to deal with that when I get certain comments. It takes so much willpower not to be really sassy, just because I'm a bit of a snarky person. So yeah, it takes my willpower. All right. Okay, I'm back to looking at the chat again. What if the person you're responding to is watching the stream and they got the notification right as you finished? Well, that's good for them. I don't call people out by name, so. Topic, very, very wrong trans characters. Like, they drive me nuts. Like, yes, there's femboys, but stop insulting me, please. What do you mean? What do you mean by, like, I'm just trying to, because the way you worded that sentence kind of confuses me a little bit. Like, do you mean you don't like trans characters, like trans men that are very feminine? Or... Oh my god. Sorry, my friend just sent me something funny. You might need to elaborate there, because I'm kind of confused at what you mean. How long did it take you to find your art style, and do you have any tips? My advice with art style, it's honestly, like, to me, anyway, I've always felt like from the moment you pick up a pencil, you have an art style. It might not be obvious. It might look like every other beginning artist out there. But from the moment the moment you start drawing, you have an art style. And you shouldn't worry so much about finding a specific, unique art style. You should focus so much more on improving your artwork. Because I think a big issue with, like, why so many people have it's just my style argument is because they're so much more worried about having something unique and stylized than they are about having their artwork look good. That sounds really rude, but, you know. But, like, if you really want to find your art style, then you got to go out there and you got to experiment with different things. And that's not even to find it, just to experiment and see if you can change it, you know? If you want to change your art style. And also, it's okay to have multiple different art styles. I see so many people so dead set on the fact that everybody has a single art style. You can have multiple art styles. There are plenty of artists out there who draw differently depending on what they're drawing. There are times when I draw things with more realistic anatomy and times when I draw things with significantly less realistic anatomy. It depends what character I'm drawing and the mood of the picture I'm going for. So, art style is a funny thing, and what I say is just don't stress about it so much. If you want to change your art style or you want to do something different, go out there and experiment, you know? Have some fun. So I hope that helped. Just try different things, push out of your comfort zone, and never let your art style inhibit. If your art style prevents you from improving on basic art things, then that means your art style needs to change. So that's my advice. Multiple art styles is good skill business-wise. It is very good. Anyway, sorry, continuing from that one person. Like, you know, the stereotypical white-haired boy, they act very girly and just slap it being trans for attention. I've never heard that stereotype. I'm not kidding. I've seen femboys in, like, anime and shit. I have never seen a trans character like that. And you're obviously talking about something very specific. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I've never heard of that before. Goodness. What's your feelings on tokenism? Like putting a gay or trans character into a piece of work just to have one and not really making it a valuable part of a character. I really don't like it either. But I also, okay, at least depending on what your phrasing means, because in general, how I usually feel about that is I don't like it when a character exists and their sole character is just, hi, I'm gay. That's all I contribute to this story. There's nothing else. There's nothing deeper to my character. I'm just here to be gay. I hate that because it's just, it's bad for the story. It's just kind of disrespectful. It's just stupid, you know? So that kind of tokenism I hate. What I don't mind though, I don't mean that you mean this. This is just what I'm getting from your wording. So this is just more of a general statement. What I do actually like is when a character can be gay or trans and the only time it's brought up is just in casual conversation and then the story continues and it's just like, you know, the character is that thing, but it's obviously not. It's treated like it's just a normal thing. That's what I really like, because to me, it's like I prefer that kind of information almost coming more in jokes, as weird as that sounds. Just like I do that all the time with my characters. I'd much more prefer, I would much more prefer a character that just kind of, it's a casual thing, but their character revolves around so much more than just that little fact, you know? I feel like if the story is not about that character's sexuality or gender, it shouldn't really be a main part of the story if it's not important and contributing to the story. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if it's not a part of the story, then I feel like it should be treated more like a fun fact, because that's just kind of what it is. It's kind of like a fun fact in the same sense that like they like blondes, you know? It's just, you know, it's just how I feel. I mean, yeah, that's just how I feel. I was going to go into an example, but I feel like blah, whatever. 1 second, I'm typing a thing. Can you go on a tangent about what annoys you in art? I mean, maybe. I guess if I just wanted to start listing off my pet peeves off the top of my head? Question mark? I'll think about that for a second. Your laugh is cute. Well, thank you. I have like 4 or 5 different laughs, honestly, just depending on what kind of context it is. My ultimate laugh is like could actually be written as ha 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 ha, because that's how it sounds. And that is like the most ultimate laugh I could have. Oh, goodness. You do this and that. I'm sorry, Michie. You were asleep, okay? You literally just messaged me saying you slept like the dead. What did you want me to do? Fight me, Michie. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, I could do my art pet peeves, I think. In a second. I don't know, offer to invite me. I mean, do you want to come on? Do you want to come on and say hi? Do you want to? Is that what we're getting at here? Are we gonna turn this into not a solo stream? Oh, goodness. Yeah. Invite Michie for the art pit piece. Sticks Legia. All right, well, come. Fine then. Everyone else wants you to come on, so just let's go. Let's fight. Let's do it. I mean, we're not going to fight, but let's fight. It's always a fight, no matter what the context. I'm in drama. That's how it works. You're always fighting, no matter the context. Michie versus Zodiac. Oh no. Should probably wreck me. Do you have that insane laugh, the one you can't stop laughing until your stomach hurts? I have. It's really hard to get me there. But I do. I've had friends who've heard it. Once, like, if you really make me laugh, I just can't. I think I've gotten to that point in the Cards Against Humanity stream I did on Michie's channel a while back. Hang on. Okay. We're gonna get Michie into this business. Let's go.
Hello.
Hello.
Shit.
Welcome to the stream.
Oh my god. So,
I gotta change the title now.
Oh, well. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have popped in normally, but I'm like, this bitch has got a picture of 2 animals in his picture. It's a solo stream. He's automatically setting himself up for failure.
Whoopsies. If you guys engage in combat, use Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh my god.
I've been watching that. That's even funnier to me because I've been watching like all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged recently. It's great.
That makes me feel so old. No, because when Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged was coming out, I was in high school. Like when the episodes were airing on YouTube.
Well, they're still going.
Really?
Yeah, I think recently they did their 81st episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I've just been watching it, and I love it. It's a good time. It's a good thing to watch in the background.
Oof Troop asks,
oh,
Zodiac, I have a question. How do you deal with someone you hate? Someone you hate when they play a game you play? If you're not around them, don't let it bother you?
Yeah, if you don't have to play with them, then don't play with them, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what the greater context is, but yeah.
Like, I'm sure there are a lot of cuckbags out there. Hello, hi, I'm Twisted Disaster, I'm very crass. Who like Bioshock, but does that mean I suddenly don't like Bioshock? I would understand, because I've been in that situation, Zodiac knows, where, like, I've gone to parties, and people I do not like are invited, and just there, and then kind of, like, not leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard, but the big thing in those instances is to be the better person. By that, like, trust me, I got the urge to be petty as shit last time I had to interact with a certain person Zodiac knows about.
Yeah.
God, I hate that guy. But you still gotta be polite, so that way you come off as, like, it sounds like an ego thing, but yeah. You should try to be the better person. You know?
Yeah. Someone asked this, and I just want to laugh because someone, where did it go? Somebody asked if I drew anime before anything else, and I died because yes, and fun fact, you weren't there when I sent this message in the other chat, but I'm gonna bring 2 of my older sketchbooks to San Japan, so if I ever get a chance, you guys get to see my really shitty old art.
Oh my god, can I vlog it? Can I vlog your shitty old art? Because I'm vlogging the thing.
Yes. Gladly. You get to see, I brought, let's see. I know one of them I have, off the top of my head, one of them has, like, the original incantations or not even the original, like one of the incantations of my old Zodiac characters.
Oh no, you showed me those. I remember that. Like,
no, I showed you the old ones. You haven't seen the middle of the road ones.
Oh god, I'm excited.
The more recent versions. And one of them has like my original gem, like the original gem designs for my brother and I's gems.
Oh,
it'll be a good time.
That's gonna be a party.
They are a ride. God, I would bring, or maybe I could. I know I have space. I know I have 2 sketchbooks that are even older that are filled with stick figure comics.
Beautiful. Okay, I know this is stupid, but low-key, I'm excited to meet your mom.
I know.
I know it's really weird.
I'm just interested to see how the interaction goes.
I'm gonna laugh if it ends up going, like, probably not the first day, obviously, because that's the setup and everything, but I'm gonna laugh if it ends up going like how my instance was for the first time, like when I met Anna in person for the first time.
Yeah.
So, it would be like, oh, okay, got to know her, got her number, you go do you, and you guys do your weird whatever the hell you do. And I'm just gonna go, I don't know, do not weird stuff over here.
Oh, good. I'm excited. I mean, clearly, she knows I'm gonna go meet, like, online friends.
Yeah.
Like, I literally told her that, like, there was a chance that Kwan might not have a
room?
Yeah, a room. And I was just like, don't worry, I can bribe my mom. And I told that joke to my mom, and she's just like, well, if she needs a room, she can. Like, for at least 2 nights. And I'm like,
that's great, because then you can tell her after you guys sleep together. So by the way, Mom,
we're getting married.
And thank you for our blessing on letting us consummate this marriage.
Thank you for your blessing.
Oh yeah, you guys don't know, Zodiac's birthday is at San Japan.
Grams.
I still have no idea what we're gonna do. I'm assuming we're gonna go out to dinner.
Probably. To Chewy's.
Oh, are we doing Chewy's for your birthday?
I don't know.
We were doing Chewy's one day. I didn't know what it was.
Like 90% of everything right now is just me on a whim. So it's like the most I know is I'm going to San Japan. That is what I know.
Wait, Zodiac, how fucking old are you? See, I'm not the only one he catfished.
On Saturday, I'll be a legal adult. I'll be 18.
Yeah, last year he'd go to big people jail. Now this year he can vote.
Yay! I'm moving up in the world. Oh, goodness. Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. I was asking people to give me controversial topics to ramble about.
And you don't invite me. Oh, I am insulted.
Well, I wasn't planning on that.
I know.
Something came up.
I'm being an asshole.
I know, but
because also my parents haven't gotten back to me on when they're picking me up, and it's 6. So I'm like, okay, you guys know you're picking me up, so whatever.
Oh goodness, yeah. I was ranting about earlier the fact that people don't read things. Yeah, because
I wonder what stemmed that.
Specifically because you want to see a conversation I just had. I'm not gonna show it to the chat because I want to blast this person. But okay, because someone commented that they wanted to enter on the journal or whatever, and I responded with my copy pasted message. I'll send it in our DM, and they replied to me with this, like they clearly did not read the journal before making that comment, and it irritates me. And then they try to act as if I'm the weird one.
Yeah, and like, okay, on that, so, not even anything to do with your journal, that right there already pisses me off, because I've had to deal with that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so guys, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Okay, so, when you want to commission an artist, let them know at the start you don't have the money. It's fine. I get less, because like I had to do this back when I was younger and I didn't have a job and stuff. If I wanted to commission someone like really, really, really bad, I would ask them nicely. I'd be like, I would like to know how much to save for. So at least they knew they're not wasting their time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I've never, when you say it right away at the start, I never had an issue with an artist. The few people who have done that to me, never had an issue with. Everything was great. What bothers me is the people who. I gotta turn that shit off. I'm not letting that thing ring in my ear. Sorry, the scanner was going off. It was about to ring, and I'm like, nope. So I've had people. Literally, I remember I told Zodiac this. I was corresponding with this person for 2 fucking weeks over email. This was a while ago, but I remember telling you about this.
Yep.
Where we were getting everything. Everything was working out great. They wanted this like really big order. They seemed really interested. It was all good. I had gotten a contract written up because it was going to be a really, 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 really big order.
Mm-hmm.
And then right when it came time to payment, even though we had discussed payment, nothing. Suddenly no contact, nothing else. I checked their DA and they're faving stuff, so I know they're like alive still. I know it's really dark and morbid, but sometimes things happen. I'm not saying people die, right. But like, oh, they're not on the internet as much, or life happened, or na. And their accounts usually kind of go dead with that. But when you see they're active every day, but they're not responding to that, and I remember I had waited a week after that because I had spent 2 weeks corresponding with this person.
Mm-hmm.
And I messaged them again, and they were like, oh, well, I didn't realize this big order of over 30 pictures was going to be in the hundreds.
Yep.
And I'm like, did you even look at my prices?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were talking about prices and what you wanted, and like, I said it was going to be a big thing, and I even offered payment plans. And they were like, yeah, I didn't know it was going to be that much money. And I'm like, what? Then tell me you can't do it. Don't just not say anything.
Mm-hmm. And like, oh God, I get it. Sometimes I sometimes part of me wants to sympathize if they're like a younger person and it was kind of an honest mistake.
Oh, no.
But but what really pisses me off are the people who act like it's somehow your fault. Like, you're responsible because they chose not to read something?
No, I agree. Like, I have had some people be really snide about my stuff, where they were like, well, it's not like people have to buy this, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it's almost like buying commissions is a luxury item.
Yeah, well, clearly you were interested, so, there's that.
I'm just saying, it's almost like, huh. No, that's why I have people pay up front first, because I've had a lot of people in the past try to screw me out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And now the only people that I take payments for after commissions are my trusted commissioners. And I can tell you right now, it's less than 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is in the chat right now.
Wink,
only because this bitch has sent me so much money already.
I know.
And been so cool. And I personally have their information too. So like, love you. No more snatches.
You know who you are.
Yeah, but no, that's when you make things clear. And then the thing is too is when people belittle it's your job. Like, some people are like, well, this doesn't have to be your job. I've gotten those too. And I'm like, you're right, it doesn't have to. But I mean, you don't technically have to have your job either when you think about it like that.
Yeah.
It's
just, goodness. And like, I will say, this experiment that I'm doing, so far, I feel like it has potential. I just maybe need to tweak the way I'm doing things a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like it's working because I do feel like most of the ones that I'm irritated with, and I've been lenient when people don't put in the little thing or whatever. I just tell them they didn't.
Yeah.
So then they can go back and look, and that way I can tell if they actually want it or if they really didn't care. I think the only thing that's irritating me right now is that one person, and B, there have been so many people who are saying like, hey, I'm interested, and instead of hiding their comment because they realize they don't have the money, they respond to themselves saying they don't have the money, and it's getting on my nerves.
No, I'll agree with that too, because like,
I love you guys, Smeeches, but by God, it's getting on my nerves.
Well, no, I mean, it's a valid thing to be worried about, because you're offering it as a raffle system. When commissioning someone, especially when your prices and my prices are there all the fucking time, because there are some artists, I will give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't like people who hide their commission prices.
Yeah, I don't know.
And by that I don't mean they hide them, but I mean they only post them up when they're open, and then when they're closed, they take the picture down or they take the journal down until they do it next time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, I have a problem with that because then a lot of people don't know, you know? And so when you have the info there, it's there. All they have to do is read. Like, I can't tell you how many times. My big red flag, I know you're doing your raffle thing, is how few people actually use my template. Because I purposefully put my template in my TOS, so I know that they're going to click it when in the little info thing it says, when you commission me, you are agreeing to everything in my TOS. Because I had to fight someone like that a couple of years ago, actually, where I put in my TOS, because at that time I had part-time jobs.
Right.
So I was like, this isn't my only form of income. Commissions might take a while, and you know, do not bug me for your commission, pretty much. I worded it better than that, but I had it there. It was like one of the first couple points. And I remember it had literally only been a week since they ordered. It had only been a week. And previously to that, I had made a journal a couple days before saying how I'm working Black Friday and all of this week. I'm not going to get any commissions done until next week. And I got a note being like, well, where's my commission? And I'm like, did you, and I put that, and they're like, oh, well, my birthday or something is coming up, and I wanted it in time for my birthday. And I'm like, well, if you read my TOS, I said, I will do your commission top of the list for a rush fee. You got to pay the rush fee. And that was also a high point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, I couldn't afford the rush fee. I was just hoping you would do it. And I'm like, one, nowhere in the form you used did you say it was your birthday or it was a gift. Two, how am I supposed to know your life? Yes. Like, I didn't say that part, but I'm thinking it. I'm like, I don't know who you are. That might sound really mean, but if you, especially at the time when I was doing commissions, when I was doing commissions a lot more than I've been doing like this past year, you know, I was getting at least 500 or so commissions because I get a lot of small ones. So when there's a person who would like maybe ordered 2 out of that 500, I'm not really going to remember you unless you've commissioned me a lot in the past because I know who you are. I know your username, you know? Yeah. Like, perfect example of who we're talking about now. I know Pyth. I know Sky. You know, I know Masuda.
The beans.
I know Uncontrollably Excite. I know, and this was before they even became like patrons and stuff because they were commissioning me all the time.
Right.
You know, so I got to like know like, oh, it's a username from so and so. I already know how this is gonna go, and it's a bonding thing. But then when people are like, how come you're not on my time? All you can do is explain to them politely, and then if they're a dick to you, offer a refund. Because that's the thing I tell people all the time, is I'm like, listen, if you haven't even started the thing, half the time it isn't even worth it. If the person's being that picky, just be like, okay, here's your money back.
Yep. That's what you gotta do sometimes. God, yeah, and
Sorry for my long tangent.
No, it's okay.
That's one that I'm especially opinionated on, because...
Yeah, no, I feel ya. It's how I'm feeling right now. Just doing, like, this. Because, I mean, it needs tweaking, but I do feel like 90% of the issue right now, it's just because people aren't reading, and some of it is a bit forgivable. Like, I mean, you know, so... Like, part of me I'm pretty lenient. I mean, I'm lenient even about the password, too. I just kind of point it out. Yeah. And move on with my day. But, like, God. When there's the people who are commenting that they're interested, but they didn't realize that, oh, this meant actually, like, you're entering, and you actually need to have the money, and I don't have the money. Or
yeah, I mean, at least you're not doing it the way I've seen some people do it, because, like, some people have been skeevy about it, and I don't like that. Where I've seen it be like, oh, okay, for you to enter, you have to pay $1 to get a ticket. Yeah, and I don't like that $1. I don't care that it's $1. I don't like, because then it sounds like a lottery, and I don't like that, because then it's like, okay, well, you're getting paid from people who, yeah, it's $1, but it's the purpose of it all. It's like,
and like, especially because like you do that kind of thing, like for like what I'm doing, I do that, and then on top of that, I get commission money, and it's like it just feels kind of it just feels unfair. But
unclean.
But yeah, and I do want to do it like this because I that's why I kind of want it to work out, is because I just feel like it'd be more fair in general to people. So, because again, I could easily do it. Like I've seen a different artist do it in the past, where they'll actually have people tell them what they want and like stuff, and then they'll pick ones. But I know the fact that I'm going to be biased, so
yeah.
Because like I'd be biased to like my homies Sky and Pyth and whatever. So
my OG commissioner, my homies,
my commission homies. So I mean, I do want this to work, and I think it might, because I've had plenty of people who've like who've done it right, and it's been cool. I just think maybe it needs some tweaks, but you know.
Yeah, but I think, again, for your first time, I think this is doing really well. Oh, a Snoodle Bug asks,
oh, hello.
How do either of you feel about an artist who gets paid up front and they don't give the art that the person paid for? It happened to me about a year ago, and I still haven't gotten it. Okay, so first of all,
that's called scamming.
That's called scamming. I got a whole video on my channel about that. But this is very important. So Zodiac knows, and a lot of people who've been following my content recently, not like as a shameless plug or anything, know that I bit myself in the... I did not bit myself in the foot. Wow, a great analogy. I shot myself in the foot last year with my end of the year sale. This was the biggest sale I'd ever had, and everything was doing great. I was blowing through them. I was almost done. And then a lot of hectic life stuff happened. A lot of stresses came out, and and it hasn't really gotten better.
Ooh, they added to their statement.
Oh, okay.
They said, I got one thing, then they dropped off the face of the earth. I will say this, there is a possibility, there's a reason for that. I'm not saying what it is, but...
Yeah, there could have been a reason for it. But the big thing I always tell people, which is what I've been doing, and why a lot of my commissioners have been super chill and I cry, is you just keep people updated. Like, it's really not that hard to keep people updated. And here's the thing. Like Zodiac said, a lot of people don't read.
Yep.
Because I had people in the past where they were like, hey, where's my commission? And then I'll be like, 2 weeks ago I made a journal about it. And they're like, oh, I didn't see that. And they'll go read it. And then usually I don't hear anything from it. And usually, because they'll be like, they'll see the date, they'll see that it was posted early on, and that was like, I explained what was going on. And again, you don't have to go in great detail or anything.
Right.
But just be like, because I was going through some heavy shit last year, I'm not going to lie. Like, the last year was really, really stressful, and then it just kind of hit the fan this year. So it's really helped me figure out what I'm going to do for next year, because I just want to get this shit done, because I hate making people wait. But if you let your clients know what's going on, or just tell them like, hey, and again, I've offered to give back refunds. That's a big thing that a lot of people don't like. I found out recently, and I don't like that. Is some people are like, well, what if I really need the money and I can't afford refunds? And I'm like,
well, let me do the
goodness.
I knew this when I started doing commissions. I understood this concept of, if you're taking commissions where you get paid up front, what you do is you don't spend that money until you've done the commission. I mean, there's obviously an exception if like you need the money for an emergency, but if you get just paid casually, you don't spend that specific amount of money until you do the commission, then the money's yours. Then you can do whatever you want with it, and you don't have to worry about refunds.
Yeah.
Like, if you really need the money, then you probably should have told people no refunds.
Yeah, you would put that in the info or in the post or whatever.
Or they are not wrong for asking for a refund.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, yeah. This is kind of random, but I'm curious, have you ever dealt with being reported on Redbubble? I had art taken down before and I'm really nervous. What kind of fan art was it? Because that can be a thing.
Yeah, I have no experience.
It's not so much Redbubble like itself as like people, like, I've recently heard Cartoon Network's been going around and taking down Steven Universe stuff.
Oh, great.
And I'm like, Cartoon Network, maybe people wouldn't want to buy
maybe if you make good merch, maybe they'd buy yours.
If you made decent merch.
Maybe if you didn't give Blue Diamond a fishtail,
Yeah, you didn't give her a fishtail with nubby legs, or fucking Steven's demon face, or the bootleg looking pair. When your official merch looks like bootlegs, that's when you have a problem. Like, that's my issue. You shouldn't be getting on artists who are technically within fair use, by the way. Cough, cough. Fun fact. As long as you changed, at least in California, I believe this is all over, but it could be different in other countries and whatever. As long as you fix and change at least 30% of the original thing, it's within fair use.
Mm-hmm. Fair use is a mess.
It is a mess. But save your ass. My issue is when people keep taking commissions and don't show their queue to people. Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I have my queue, like, up there. A lot of people are like, where's your to-do list? And then I'm like, it's on my page. You just gotta click it. And they're like, oh, that's a big queue. I'm like, yeah, this is why I haven't been open in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I used to actually have, like, a more detailed, or I tried once having a more detailed queue list where I actually put, like, what stage the commission was on too, but
you mean you do what I do?
My issue was, though, I'm an irresponsible bean and I forget to update that shit. So yeah. I mean, at least now I'm actually doing them, like, all together, so it's like it's so much easier to keep up with.
Yeah, and plus you're fast and you let people know this isn't your job. That's another big thing. Like, let people know it's not your job, okay? So that way if it takes a while, they're not as pissed. Like, you can't be... Think of it... Flip the rule for a minute.
Yes.
If you bought something on Amazon, let's say, right? You bought something on Amazon, and it was supposed to ship within 2 days, because you got Prime, because you pay out the ass for Prime.
Yes.
And then you pay for it, it's all good, 2 days pass, and you're like, where's my package? And then you look, and it says estimated delivery. When you're like, no. You go back to the post, and it says Prime, same day or 2 day. And then you file with Prime, and you're like, hey, I was supposed to get this within 2 days. What happened? Usually Prime will be like, oh, well, we sold out, or we'll refund you. But when they don't answer at all, you're like, oh, well, fuck that, I want my money back, because I'm not going to wait God knows how long it's going to take to get this package when I needed it in 2 days. That's how I see it, at least.
Snicker. Oh, goodness.
My ears.
Are you on Amino? If so, which ones? I mean, technically, I have a Steven Universe Amino. I don't use it, so.
I mean, I found out people made a fan Amino for me, and I pop in every. Okay, I feel like a creeper, but I'm like, oh,
that's
cute.
Me.
Let's see, but
I have another tangent.
Oh, go ahead.
This is of recent events, because I like doing offer adopts because I like letting people offer things because I can never come up with set prices anyway. So usually it's cool, but oh goodness, I don't mind getting offered art. I'll take art as a payment. But what does bother me is when people offer like what feels like an uncomfortable amount of art that feels like can you even get this done quality work?
I saw those. I know what you're talking about. I saw some of those offers.
I know, and I'm like, okay. So for some people, like $30 worth of art, like, hey, that's pretty cool. But when your commissions are like $1, that's like a bit that to me, I look at that and I'm like, I think I'd just rather have $5 worth of arts because I don't feel like 30
pictures.
30 pictures is going to be realistic.
Yeah.
Like, please, guys, when you're offering art for an adoptable, please be kind of realistic because, like, believe me, if you overassume how much art you can get done for someone for an adoptable, it's not going to go well. It really isn't.
Yeah, like,
I mean, I don't even mind. Those adoptables I've been doing fast, so I don't mind that I'm not getting, like, $30 offers on them or whatever. But, and I also know because I just know there's going to be themes that people are going to be kind of meh about in terms of, because everyone likes cute girls with adoptables. That's the market. Cute girls and pretty boys.
Cute girls with that anime titty.
Yes, and pretty boys. and older characters are not very popular, which I think needs to change. Old characters are the best.
I like Grizzly Adams Dragon Man. Okay? I literally have no use for him. That's why I didn't put anything on it.
I know. But just please be realistic when you're making offers to adopts, like especially because I'm getting people who offer who are offering like money equivalents of art, which is very helpful for me because it helps me get a value. But if your art is not worth, like if you don't price your art as a lot, that's kind of unrealistic.
Yeah. Here's a good question I like. Kiha, I think. Kia plays opinion on artists who always self-deprecate, so they make you feel bad for giving criticism. Okay, so I like this because I like a lot of self-deprecation humor, but I try never to do my personal humor with my actual art.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'll do that sometimes, but I'll do it in a very joking way.
I mean, fuck, I draw hands backwards all the time, and I hate it.
Because I have the joke that I have, like, an eyeliner fetish. Like, that's my joke.
You really do, though. Like, yeah, you do, buddy.
Listen, just because I want to make the eyes pop doesn't mean it's eyeliner, I swear.
Just because it's winged liner doesn't mean they can actually fly away, okay?
But, like, yeah, so I make jokes about my art all the time. But, like, what I do agree, I can't, and I always feel bad when I say I can't stand it because I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just like when people legitimately put their artwork down like all the time to where it's like, why do you even draw if you hate it that much?
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds mean, but if you can't find any value in the artwork you do, then like, it's just, it feels hard to pity someone who keeps doing it to themselves, and I hate feeling that way, but that's just what it feels like. And I hate it because sometimes it's just kind of other people who ruin it for me. But like, it drives me insane when people do that, and it feels so much like a pity party. Like, oh, I hate my art, I hate how it looks, but in such a way where they're trying to garner compliments. And because
by the way, really random.
That. Yes.
Can Pastel join?
Gasp. I mean, sure, if she wants to.
Well, because she just asked me, and she's like, can you chat right now? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm doing a thing with Zodiac. I'm like, you want to join, though? Because we're doing an art topic once. Yeah, okay, so she wants to join. So
let's go.
We're going to drop the call real quick, and then enter Pastel, too. Because she can have some things to say about this topic, too, because she's also an artist. Who we're also all meeting for the first time. Yay! All the catfish. All right.
Indeed. All right. Hello.
Hello. Waiting for her.
Hello.
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 Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Yeah. This is Pastel Monster, everyone who doesn't know, because I don't think she's been on my channel before.
There we go. First impressions.
You are loud. Hang on.
Oh shit.
You're loud compared to Michie.
Oh. Let me put myself far away. Maybe that'll work.
So Pastel, the last topic was, how do you feel about people who self-deprecate themselves in their art to where they can't take critiques? That was the question.
So what was the last part of the question?
Okay, pretty much it's like, oh, here's my picture I spent 5 hours on, but it's a piece of shit.
Oh! Have some confidence, please. You worked that hard on it. At least like it a little bit.
Well, it's especially bothersome too when people like they make it clear.
Pastel, are you on your iPad?
I am on my phone.
Oh, that's what the echo's from. Like, there's an echo.
Yeah.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, and it wasn't there before, so I know it's you. No man.
Caca.
I'm so sorry.
Shame.
I'm sorry.
But
maybe that'll help.
What I can't stand is when there's people who are like they do like they're so self-deprecating, but yet they make it clear like they're passionate about art and they want to like do it, like, get famous for it, but yet all they can do is self-deprecate, and it's just like, dude, it's never gonna work if you keep doing that.
Yeah, like, you need to if you want to get anywhere, you at least need to have some confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I feel like, in a way, you should never be 100% satisfied, but you shouldn't be so like, oh, this is disgusting, I hate it.
You should at least be proud for doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, am I the only one hearing the echo? Is it just me?
I hear it. I've just chosen to ignore it.
I'm sorry. Okay, hold on.
No, I'm wondering if it's her or if it is me, and I'm freaking out about that.
No, it's Pastel.
Okay, well, let me see if my headset will at least plug in, and at least maybe that will help. I can't talk through it, but maybe it'll help.
I mean, that should...
So, okay, hold on.
Sorry.
You know what? Somebody just brought up, like, a good point, and this is, like, something that I wish would get talked about more. Now I feel bad, cause, like, wait, bad?
Now I feel bad.
Oh yeah, because my go-to when people look at my art is to self-deprecate, so people don't think I'm being egotistical and arrogant. And you know what? That's something that's a general problem that irritates me. We put such an emphasis on you cannot be, like, egotistical and stuff, that it makes people do the total opposite, where all they can do is feel like, well, if I am proud of something that I do, people might think I'm being, like, narcissistic.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That is something else that bothers me.
I can't say I'm good at art because people might think I'm being egotistical.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
If you think that you're good at art, you should have an ability to say that. Whether you are or not is subjective, but, like, just have a little bit of confidence. The difference between being, like, arrogant and being just confident is just kind of how you present yourself.
That's a big thing, yeah. Because a really good example was, when you're trying to sell yourself, are you gonna sell yourself? It's like people who, like, show their portfolios. I've heard a lot of professional artists talk about this, where, like, they'll go to, like, Comic-Con and conventions, and people will bring their portfolios to get, you know, like, graded or, like, reviewed over, so before they, like, apply to school or a job or something. And all these people say the same thing. They're like, when you're giving a person your portfolio and the first words out of your mouth are, I'm not proud of any of these, they're automatically not going to like your portfolio. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Because why would you give them something you're not proud of?
Exactly.
Because that kind of, it almost makes you think that you're giving them, like, mediocre work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's just, you gotta find a balance. And this is just one of the biggest issues I see, is that, like, at least when it comes to media and just people talking, we put such an emphasis on not being egotistical that it makes people not confident.
Yeah, and that is something that does take a while to get, but at the same time, I don't think there should be people, because people use, like, this sounds very egotistical, but they'll be like, oh, well, you're very blunt and honest, Michelle, and, you know, whatever, so I want to be that way too. I'm like, there's being blunt and honest, and there's tearing yourself down.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a big difference between stating a fact and being self-deprecating. Like, if you did something that, you know, maybe you know it's not the best, but you're proud of it. You're like, this still isn't as good as I'd like it to be, but it's the best picture I've ever made, and I'm super happy about that. Be proud of that. Be happy about that. You know? And if someone points it out...
Here, someone just put up a good quote for it. Animated Being put a good quote. Confidence is knowing what you can do. Arrogance is ignoring what you can't.
Zodiac, Animated Being is the amazing person who does our gifts.
I know!
They have a YouTube! Seriously, I don't normally do this, but you
Everyone
really need to
go follow
them.
Animated Being. Do it right now.
Because people ask me all the time who did my little Tetsu animation during my streams. That's who it was. And Zodiac commissioned them recently, too.
And they gave a good quote, so I say that's enough.
Oh, see, Pastel wants to know, too.
I'm lazy. I don't want to do it. Okay.
They're really good artists.
I'm glad you guys can hear me, by the way.
Okay, we can hear you now. The echo's gone. You're good.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's just because sometimes when I plug in a certain headset, the mic stops working. So
mine's the same way. I get you.
Got the right one. Yes. Hell yeah. Oh.
Oh God! Now I have to self-deprecate.
Shit. Also, off topic, really fast, Michie, they gave me an extra page of your white diamond. So.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, so Zodiac, we get extra money because that's the one I'm splitting with you. That was our collab.
Gaspoo.
But it's funny because they're missing a page from one of my hollows. I was like,
oh no!
I was like, I'm supposed to have like 5 pages of my red-haired baby, but I don't.
Instead, they gave me this Steven Universe bitch.
God damn it! Not the right gem.
Oh my god, was it a gem person too? I know it wasn't Steven Universe. Really? That makes it even better.
Oh my goodness.
At least White Diamond looks cool, so I can forgive them.
I am really proud of that collab, by the way.
I know, I really love it.
Our Hello Starlight one was great.
I know, I love it.
And I get to cut them.
Yes, Pastel's being a good bean and working her ass off, so we don't get to meet her tomorrow, we get to meet her Friday.
Quite. We'll meet her somehow,
dead.
some day.
Somehow. I mean, my booth is kind of hard to miss.
Yeah, well, she won the mega table, so she won the mega table with one of my magic seals. Thank you very much.
Hooray!
I know it's lame, but I'm super happy that like the picture that used some of my.
What
magic
did we
stuff
just
in it
say about taking pride in some things?
Yes.
Oh,
It's like me whenever I notice people like referencing poses off of me or whatever. It's like I can't even confirm that they did, but I'm gonna take the ego boost. Thank you.
well, that was like me when people stole my Steven Universe art. A lot of people were amazed how like they're like, "This is so funny. You literally don't care." I'm like, I really don't.
I know. I only care when people try to sell my shit.
Exactly. I'm like, if I was on Facebook and found my shit on a tank top, then yeah, I'd be rightly pissed. But if it's some person on DA who made an account that day and reposted my art, and then was like, yeah. But then it also proves my magical point where I'm like, they obviously know Photoshop because they Photoshop my watermark out of like all of my pictures.
See, the only time that I would get pissed is if it was a repost account and they got more likes than I did.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I get mad when they take commissions though, because I'm like, this isn't even my character. So.
Or like, no, I also love the fact that because one of the pictures that Steven Universe account stole was
Hold on real quick, sorry.
Okay, I will continue that when you get back.
Oh my god, one of my friends is drawing my cookie because I commissioned her like a couple months ago, and she's like now getting around to it.
Yes.
Now she's like, everything's calming down, and she showed me a sketch, and she's like, "You gonna get this weekend?" I was like, "Oh, bitch!" Oh, it looks so good.
So excited. Vibrates. Oh goodness.
I'm so excited. People drawing my baby, it makes me so happy.
I need to get more commission. I need to commission more people. Well, I have money, but then I don't, and I don't know why. I have like so many points I could spend because I just have way too many on DeviantArt. But
oh my god,
quite.
I don't have any points. I got like 12 points.
I've been collecting them.
Oh my god. I remember somebody like gave me a little bit of points because I don't know what I did. I think I was like, hey, I need like a month subscription or something because I need to do a thing. It was like years ago, and somebody gave me a little bit, and I was like, oh, thank you. I'll do a little sketch for you, and it was a really nice sketch for something that was like, like 12 cents. But I was really happy, I was thankful for them. And so I gave them this really like cell phone picture worthy, photo of the sketch, and they're like, can you scan it in and make it like 1,000 DPI? And I was like, no.
That sounds exactly like a scam.
Right? I was just like,
really, you want me to make it in full quality so that so that you could just take it and run?
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. No, like I worked really hard on it. It was like some Lolita and a gas mask and like some kind of assault rifle, something. But
beautiful.
It was a lot for what little I was given, and I just stopped replying to them.
Amazing.
Speaking of stress,
hello.
God, my life can't end.
Oh no, what happened?
No, Cody called me. He's like, "Hey, tell your male groomsman he's got to get, or your male bridesmaid he's got to get his suit fitted." And I'm like, looks at phone, says he got it done, calls his ass, doesn't answer. I'm like, okay, you got it. You know you have to get this done by the 2nd, or you're buying yourself a suit.
I'll wear the suit.
I'll wear the suit.
I'll be the suit.
I'll be the suit. Oh my god. So yeah, it was just like, oh, Jake. So sorry. What were we talking about?
Oh yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? It was something that. Oh yeah, the person who stole your Steven Universe art. It killed me that they stole the White Diamond collab. So it's like, oh, it's interesting that this one picture seems to have a different style than the rest of this art. It's almost like it was done by a different artist.
Right? What I think is funny, too, is how they know how to use the clone tool, but they didn't know how to save a pixel picture. Because I was like, my picture's it has a transparent background, because I know how to save pixel pictures. This one doesn't. Let's see, what was that? There was Zodiac, the Dark Witch contest. Can the description be really longo?
What do you mean?
I think what they mean is they have a lot on the character they want to write out.
Yeah. It can be as long as you want.
Make it as longo as you like.
There's been some long ones already.
I should emphasize for this contest, my example's not a contest entry. I've had people note me, being like, well, I'm not going to win if you're entering, you're his friend. And I'm like, see, Zodiac, I told you. That's exactly why I'm like, I don't want to join, I just want to make one.
She is not entering. The good bean is just an example.
Yeah, but though, I'm super excited because Zodiac and I sketched our trades for Tybalt as a Dark Witch. We should show Pastel so she can see my beautiful boy as a girl.
I don't have my iPad on me right now.
Oh my god.
Okay, I don't think I can look at chat anyways on the phone.
Oh right, you're on your phone. I forgot.
That's right. We can show you at a later time.
Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful.
You can send it, I'll just see it later.
Yeah.
I don't have my iPad on me, so I'll just send it when I get to my iPad again.
That's fine.
It's a good time. I love it. I can't wait to finish it.
Let's see. All three of us are tagged this one. Oof. At my job, customers will give us images with watermarks on them. They get mad at us when we explain the picture can't be used. Oh my god. I've seen people do that too, where they'll get their photos taken from a photography company. And it'll be watermarked as shit because they don't want to pay for it, right? And so they'll take it to Target and stuff. This actually happened when I worked at Target. I wasn't in the photo section, but I knew a lot of people who worked there. And they would be like, we're getting people all the time coming to the Target photo lab and being like, you can take the watermarks off this and get this printed for my kid's graduation, right? And they're like, no, I work at Target. I put the thumb drive in and I press print. That's pretty much my job. I'm not downplaying it, but that's what they like. They don't Photoshop things when they do that stuff.
God, that kind of reminds me of it's slightly unrelated, but there was a story I heard once and it kills me. Because there's a bunch of stories that were about people trying to being beggars. Or trying to scam people.
Yeah.
And one of them was a story a person was telling where it's they're a photographer and this lady comes in and it's hey, I'd like some wedding photos. So it's okay, sure, first meeting is free so we can discuss payment and stuff like that. And so they schedule a place and a time for the meeting. Everything was good. The person goes to this meeting and it's their wedding. And so the person was just kind of the lady, she's in a dress, as the story goes. She's in a dress. Zodiac's in a not Zodiac. Why did I say Zodiac?
I was gonna say, okay.
Is this a story?
I was reading something in the chat.
Did you scam somebody?
This is why I can't read and talk at the same time. Oh god. So she's in a dress. He, the groom, not Zodiac, is in a tux. Everywhere, there's party guests everywhere. And the lady's just like, haha, guess I tricked you. Well, now since you're here, you can just take pictures, right? And the person just left.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, bitch, no. Because she's like, well, you're here, and the first meeting is free, so... And it's like, bitch, no. And then she tried to, like, turn it around on him by, like, saying that her fiance and his friends were going to be, like, shipped out to seas, like, in the next few weeks. And it's just like, sorry, lady. I'm not just... And then, like, it's funny because the person reading it was like, they turned around like, what? What did she think was going to happen? Did you think like, haha, I tricked you? Oh, man, you got me good. Let's take some photos, shall we? Like,
shimmies in. So, I have a catalyst for this story.
Oh, boy.
It
Rubs
doesn't do with
hands
that.
together.
But, this isn't exactly an artist pet peeve, and Pyth, I'll get on that in a minute, because that fucking story made me laugh so hard I almost cried. But, back when I worked at a supermarket, this is the first time I had dealt with this, and then I've been dealing with it slowly more and more. And it's selfish people who use their kids as an excuse of why they, like, do the things they do. And I'll give you the example, right? So I was working in a supermarket, and this lady who I worked with was a grade A bitch.
Oh,
she
boy.
was my age with 2 kids. And at the time I was 21, so I was pretty young, nothing wrong with young moms out there. But she had taken a week off for her wedding. And I was like, oh, that's super nice. You know, I hope you and your husband having a good time. You know, she applied for the time off. It was all good. It was all fine.
Yes.
2 weeks later, 2 weeks, okay, and we got paid every week.
Mm-hmm.
She came into work at a supermarket disgustingly sick.
Oh.
Like, to the point where I remember she would literally leave the bagging section to go spit phlegm outside the store.
Oh, God.
Like, every time. She'd like, you guys think my cough is bad. She was like, openly like, while bagging people's groceries. And people would literally move lines that she was bagging because they're like, that is clearly a sick person. I don't want them touching literally my food. And then she would move to the bigger line. And so I remember asking her, I was like really concerned. I was like, why didn't you call today off? Because, fun fact, she worked part-time like I did. So I knew exactly how much she made. And at the time, you made $40 a day, okay? And you could easily switch your shift around. So I remember thinking in my little 21-year-old mind, $40 a day, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
Like, to some people it could be a lot if you're full-time and you rely on it and everything. But when you're part-time, you know, and you're already making more than $100 a week, you know, and you're clearly sick, and this girl had been working there longer than me, so she was on union, so she had benefits.
Oh, boy.
I remember asking him, like, why didn't you call off of work? And she's like, I can't afford it for my kids. And then I'm like, literally 2 weeks ago, you told me you and your husband spent 10 grand on your wedding.
Oh, God.
But you can't afford to take a $40 day off of work.
Oh, God.
And I asked her too. I was like, well, did you plan and save for your wedding for a long? She's like, no, about a year. And I'm like, okay, so
right.
Why is it like now you're using your kids as a reason? And then, okay, so I quit this job. She wasn't the reason why, but she was one of the reasons why.
Yes.
And I'd gone back like about a year later just to go shopping. Mm-hmm. And I see she's pregnant again behind the register. And I was like, oh, you got promoted. That's great. I was still nice. And she's like, oh, no, but I'll be on maternity leave soon. So they can't have me doing carts anymore. And I'm like thinking, and I'm like, did you get pregnant just to do this? Because if you can't afford, like, this sounds very mean, okay? But if you can't afford, with your 2 kids already, to take a day off of work for $40, why are you bringing another kid into this world when you're still doing the same job you were a year ago, so you didn't get a raise?
Yep.
Government monies.
Here's the thing. Exactly. And I'm sorry, but that's something that really bothers me, because I had someone else who would do that too. where like they'd be like, "Oh, I can't go out. I'm taking care of my kid." Which, by the way, I have no issue with. I am totally fine with that. I always believe your kid should come first. You chose to bring this kid into this world. But when you say that, and then the next day on your Instagram story, you're at a club drinking your ass off, I'm like, what about your kid? Literally a day ago,
you don't want to hang out with me, okay?
I know, exactly. I'm like, don't lie. Just say, like, you don't want to out or you want to veg out. But that's fine. Just don't lie. So, yeah, sorry. Back to the funny thing. Pite brought up, because this was in the news a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about the lady who canceled her wedding? Because
that was beautiful.
It was
amazing.
She's, my maid of honor and I are no longer friends because she promised me $5,000 and then didn't. That was the money promised to me. It was my money. I'm like, bitch, no, it wasn't. It's like with my GoFundMe. I told people, like, you didn't have to do anything if you didn't want to. It helped. But then again, we also weren't having a $60K wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, lady, it's women like, yeah. It's women like you that made people think I was a gold digger for making my GoFundMe for my wedding. So, in all better words, a fuck you.
A fuck you.
Oh,
that
fuck you.
That was
that was what?
Fuck.
Oh god.
Okay. I get the joke, but I can't stand 13 Reasons Why. Can we not break that up in this chat? I'm triggered.
I've heard it's bad.
Haven't seen it.
Just everything about that bothers me because it's not the material. It's that they fucked over the author like super hardcore, and that's what makes me mad. Was because so first of all, in the book, I didn't read it for personal reasons I won't go into, but apparently the reason why the girl kills herself is because all of that shit that happened to her in one day, and she just snapped. Well, apparently in the show they had to drag it out where you're just slowly watching this girl get tortured. Ugh. And then, when she kills herself in the show, she blames everybody else for why she did it. Which, by the way, is a big no-no. and then, with the book being a one-off book, everyone's like, oh my god, when's season 2 coming out? And the author's like, no, there is no season 2. This is it. And then the director's like, oh no, we're writing season 2 right now. You thought it was graphic before. We're gonna make it graphicer. To the point. Okay, this is very bad. But when I heard this, I literally fucking screamed. Okay, this is very graphic. I'm being graphic here because this bothered me. They literally rape a character, so it makes sense why he performs a school shooting.
God damn it.
In the second season. Yeah, this guy character gets raped, he goes to shoot up the school, and everyone's like, yeah, that totally makes sense. I totally get why he's going to shoot up that school. Well, and I'm like, the second I heard that, I'm like, what?
That's not how that works.
That's no!
See,
you don't sympathize with school shooters!
Issues like this, you know what? Issues like this can be written properly. This is not being written properly.
No, it's not.
And another thing, too, is apparently...
You can write a really dark, morally gray story, but not like that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's... Yeah, exactly. See someone in the chat's like, yep, the mop, they can't even, like, as shitty as it is, they have to make it... The rape scene apparently even more violent, I've heard.
Oh, great.
Where they use an inanimate object.
Oh, great.
Like, in a public bathroom and shit, and I'm just like... Why? Like, I'm a very morbid person, but why? Like, I'm honestly asking, why was this here? And then it's just set up that he's going to be a school shooter at the end of the season, and I'm like, no, that's terrible.
Yeah, unless you establish that person has had, like...
Issues?
Like, has had other issues leading up to this moment, and that was the catalyst, that does not work.
Yeah.
From a realistic point of view.
And the thing that bothered me, too, was in the first season, they changed the way of how the girl killed herself, so it would be more cinematic.
Ugh.
Why?
Yeah, because that's what a suicide is. It's cinematic. Uh-huh.
Yeah, because in the book, she overdoses because her parents run a medical company.
See, that makes sense.
That's it. But in the show, they make a very, from what I've told, because I'm not going to watch it, a very beautiful in the bathroom wrist cutting scene where they like frame it like she's beautiful in this like pool while she's dying, and I'm like,
glamorizing self-harm. Wonderful.
Exactly. I'm like, this is disgusting.
Yay!
Yeah.
Sorry. People in the chat brought up like a 13 Reasons Why joke, and I can't even stand the jokes because it bothers me too much.
This just made me think of something different. So this is slightly unrelated.
Okay, good. Let's go.
Okay, because it's so funny to me. It's dark, but it's so funny. Okay, so in that book I really like that I finished recently, which honestly is I've read it in like basically almost a week at this point, which is like the fastest I've ever read something.
You're Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yes, I love it so much. Everyone go read This Body Isn't Big Enough for Both of Us, because it's a new book, and if you like crude humor, it's great. And it's also actually got like actual characters.
Actual characters.
And they write it really well, because like one of my things that I was concerned about was because this isn't really a spoiler, but like the entire character point of the main character, or the main characters, is that one of them is the right brain and one of them is the left brain, in a sense. That is their entire personality.
Pretty much they're a person with multiple personalities, but not exactly.
No, they're actually, it's like, God, what did they call it?
Well, you said they're like a weird twin thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing that would kind of create, like, in the womb, there's twins that can fuse together.
Chimeras, that's what they're called.
Yeah, like, it's stuff like that, only in this case, Bo Burnham. Yes, honestly, if you want to know anything about their personalities, listen to Left Brain, Right Brain. That's like their entire personality, or both of them to a T. But like, what I was really worried about was because, again, like, and I love it because the girl who's the right brain, she is the right brain. She's hypersexual. She's so like she doesn't think. She just like, and she has a hard time focusing, and it's obvious, and it's not just played for convenience. And the brother is the left brain, and one of the things I was really worried about was that, because they established, I don't like being touched by people. I don't like people. I hate people. The only reason I'm not a villain is because I don't really want my conscience in my head. There's enough voices up here how it is. And he establishes that he has no empathy, as the left brain does. So I was really worried, reading the book, that they were going to do some kind of bullshit turnaround where it's like, oh, he does have a heart. But they never do that. And as much as that hurts me on an emotional level, I love it because it actually makes sense. Anyway.
It's almost like they set up rules for this universe and they didn't break them.
They did it very good.
If I have to pick one pet peeve in storytelling, it's breaking universal law. Mm-hmm. Like, that's like my one. If I had to pick one out of all of them, because I seem very nitpicky, it's you set up universal laws, and then because they're the chosen one, or for plot reasons, like there's no other logical reason besides we're gonna ex machina this thing.
Ex machina, oh my god.
I'm sorry.
I
hear you say, well, I look at my icon.
Here's the difference with Gabe. Okay, Gabe is an ex machina thing, but he affects the narrative.
I know, but
and he has remorse.
Hey, at least no one else knows what he is.
Exactly.
But anyway, off its tangent. But like,
he's a good little gay boy. Just let him be good and gay.
But but yeah, so it's a really, really good book. It's really funny. It's a satire, but it actually has like. It has logic to it. It's good. But just trust me. But anyway, so this isn't, I'm going to be vague, so it's not a total spoiler. But towards the end of the book, there is a like an intense situation where people might die or whatever. So our protagonist, Kimron, brings a gun to the fight or whatever, as there are guns in this fight already. And They made a joke before that Zoe didn't realize that like the gun she had before was loaded, and then she got in here and she's like, yes, I'm pretty sure it's like, I don't know, but I'm not gonna shoot to test it this time. You could just take the cartridge out and look. You know that, right, Zoe? I know that now. But anyway, so there was this intense scene or whatever, and one of the characters in the scene is like the big macho mob boss or whatever, and So things go down. He gets shot. Not lethal, like immediate death, but like if he doesn't get treated, he's gonna like bleed out. So Cameron runs over and patches it up, so like he'll be alive for before other people can get there. So, but he's laying there, and it's like all this book has been leading up to him like losing his empire and everything he loves and this kind of thing. So it's like the way it's written, it sets it up so somatically, and he's like, again, this is a dark book, I should just establish. This isn't really out of the realm of anything this book has talked about. So he picks up Kimran's gun that like Zoe dropped on her way out, and he like points it like ready to shoot himself, and then it like says he's about to, and then like there's a click, and Zoe just pops her head back in the most cartoonish way and says, "By the way, I do know how to check if it's loaded. I can feel the weight of it. Bye." Sorry. And then she leaves.
Oh my god!
And he just like drops it in defeat, and it's so funny.
It's my kind of humor. I love dark humor.
Oh no, it is. It's so my kind of humor. It's so crude and dark, and I love it so much. But it's also smart, so it's like, and it's so cartoony.
That's the good thing too.
You can imagine like everything that the writer was going after. Because like with like how they write scenes, and it's even I love really casual fourth wall breaking humor, because often when I write shit, I do that all the time, and the way this person writes, it's like the embodiment of what I go for and that kind of thing. It's like, I mean, you know this, Michie, you've role played with me, but it's like it'll really casually like bring up the fact that it's a book. Like God, what was a good line of it? Or like the fact that the two characters are having a standoff and they're staring at each other in silence, and then it writes in there, and a fly buzzes across between them, aware of its comedic relief role.
What the fuck?
It's so good. And
Me as fuck.
Or the fact that at one point like a lady shows up at the beginning, and it says that like she walked out of the office and effectively out of the novel altogether.
Fuck, beautiful.
It's so if you guys like satire that can also get serious and hurt your heart a little bit, it's great.
God. Okay, someone just asked, what are your thoughts on Riverdale or Voltron? Can I go on Riverdale for a moment?
Go for it. I have never seen it or read it or whatever.
Riverdale is fucking trash, and it's amazing. I love it so much. Okay, it is nothing like the comics. I've never read Archie comics, but I've seen enough videos. It was the videos bashing it that made me want to see how bad this show actually was, and I'm like, okay, baby, give me season 3. It's so bad. It's beautiful because they literally DC Universe fucking Archie. And you didn't think it was possible, but they did. They did. In the first episode, there's a fucking murder. Archie's fucking his teacher. Like, there's just so much crazy shit. And I'm sitting here like, freaking Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is Jughead, who's like an emo kid who never eats burgers and has daddy issues. I'm like, this is beautiful. I am ready for this terrible dialogue written by 40-year-olds of how they think modern people speak. Also, it is the definition of the we're gonna check off a list show. Like that, like you could turn it into a drinking game where you're like, okay, have a person of every skin color, like to the point where it's so diverse it seems weird. Check. Having a gay character that's gay brings up the I don't want to be a gay best friend stereotype, but ends up being the gay best friend stereotype. Check. Hot stupid white bitch. Check. Best friend back home who's the perfect white bitch. Check. Let's see. Oh, try to get an LGBT card in there, but not want to go all the. Check. Let's see. Incest jokes. Check.
I love it.
It's weird drug dealing maple syrup families. check. There's just so much shit out there that's so great. Jughead was my ace character of choice for so long. Yeah, that was a big thing. Apparently Jughead had, like, since the making of the comic, he'd always been ace, and it was this big deal.
Amazing.
Where he never dates anybody. All he wants to do is just hang out with his friends, eat burgers, and be a prankster. That was it.
Amazing.
So they had, like, everyone come up and be like, yeah, we want to have Jughead stay ace. We want to keep that. It's part of his character. And then the first season, he gets a girlfriend, and he's super jealous about his girlfriend, like, and he wants to fuck her. And I'm like, you know, I'm not ace. But from the ace people I've talked to, they don't care about that stuff.
Just a little bit.
Also, Jughead is also that weird emo kid who is the narrator and writing a fiction novel during the whole thing. And there's this beautiful line where I love it because people freaking gif it all over Twitter, where it's like, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. And that's an actual line.
Amazing.
That he says. As well as other stuff, like one girl says something like, we live in a post-DeFranco media something, and I'm like, what? No one talks like this! Oh, I forgot. Fake lesbian scene, that's in there too.
Beautiful.
I'm here for that fake lesbian shit.
I think it happens in, like, not the first episode, but it's early on. It turns out that the teacher that Archie was fucking... Oh, well, we never explicitly said they had sex, just that there were many instances where they were taking clothes off in her car in the parking lot in the middle of the night. They were meeting out by the river where the murder happened, where they were taking their clothes off. And just, But, you know, they were openly making out with each other and having Archie be obsessed with her, and then having the mom flirt with his dad to make Archie jealous, and you're just like, the fuck am I watching? This is beautiful trash. And then on top of it, they're like, hey, we got a murder mystery on top of everything else.
I just found, because I just realized there was a perfect quote I could have read off of the chat.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Sorry to interrupt you. But
no, it's fine.
If anyone wants to know how, like, because one thing that does bug me in books is whenever they try to be, like, kind of with the times, but they force it too much where they clearly don't know what they're talking about. This guy... He knows the references and he uses them well. If you need evidence of how recent this book was, here's an actual quote. I had to take a picture because I couldn't believe this was an actual book I was reading, and it killed me. Wait.
You have to find it.
I was listening to people talking. Anyway, it's just like she kicked off the wall, singing as she spun on her chair. 2 bros working undercover in the back of room of a paint shop, 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Oh, that one! I remember that one! So happy! You sent me a screenshot of that! I remember now!
5 feet apart because they're not gay.
That has to be one of my favorite memes, like, forever. Oh my god, okay, Zodiac, did you watch the video I sent to the Santa Pan chat of the gay porn without porn in it, where there's the dialogue?
Like earlier today?
Zodiac?
It's gone.
I think his family called. Did you listen to it, though?
Of course I did. That's why I asked you. I was like, is this safe for work?
Yeah, but it's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, it's so... I just love how he's like...
I was like, you're not masculine.
That was my favorite part.
Oh my god.
I love you.
Oh, love you too, man.
Oh, hi.
No, I was asking because did you watch the video of the gay porn just dialogue?
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't it great?
Oh, it's amazing.
Terrible out of context because it sounds really bad, but I saw it on Tumblr and I was fucking screaming. It's like when they call you a twink, but you're a twunk, and I fucking lost it.
Beautiful.
Sorry. Wait, repeat that? No, it wasn't actually gay porn. I saw it on Tumblr where it was this like scene where they were like, you know, why is it that more people don't talk about the acting in porn? And I was like, okay, whatever. I was gonna just scroll past it because I didn't want to look at porn today. And then I saw people like screenshotting parts of it, and I'm like, what are these expressions? And so I listened to it, and it's like a 30-second clip, but it's
so beautiful.
It's so
it's amazing.
I like how one of the comments was like, that frame rate though.
I know! Why was it such high frame rate? Because it really was! Oh my god.
You need an Oscar.
I loved every part of it. It's like, everyone knows you Photoshop your dick. I Photoshop our dicks!
For us! Oh my god.
Hi, children!
Hello!
I'm sorry, children! Oh no, we're talking to one?
Only for a few more days.
Your mother is disappointed in you. Your mother is me. Grabs my cane.
I know the video. I know the video you're talking about. Great, yeah! Someone knows the stupid video.
I join the stream and the first thing I hear is porn.
I know. Sorry.
This is supposed to be art pet peeves. Porn.
I mean, you know, that could be a thing too. Okay, if someone doesn't do not safe for work commissions, don't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or ask, but be prepared for them to say no.
Hey Zodiac, have you ever done the prawns?
No, I have not done the prawns.
There you go. Now everyone knows and they don't have to ask.
I can do a titty. Maybe a butt.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there was a time I did try doing not safe for work stuff, and it just, like, I look back on it now and I'm like, oh, God.
I did for myself.
Why did you buy this? So many prawn pet peeves. How is your day?
Fuck.
Oh my god, someone else put it, I'm not a twink. I'm a twunk. That's a twink and hunk, okay?
I'm a twunk. Also, I finished cutting out your print.
Yay! Oh, both of them?
I mean, you only had like 8 of each.
Well, I'm saying, but yay, happy.
Yay.
So at least got yours done first. Now I'm trying to do mine. Mine
Okay.
gonna take forever.
Alright, guys, ask a pet peeve. Oh, it's hold on.
Make us go on a tangent.
Okay.
I have an artist alley pet peeve.
Woo.
So
Yeah, sure. Can you bring me some down? Just bring me like a couple cheese pieces.
Oh.
cheese pieces.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, never mind. I'm probably gonna eat with. So you're fine.
Just get silent.
I don't know. He still hasn't called me. I'm gonna probably call him in a minute. Unless, wait, is that him? No, someone left me a voicemail.
Silent gasps.
Oh my goodness. I saw a kitty today at PetSmart, and
Okay.
she was so adorable, and I walked away, and she gave me the saddest face.
Oh no.
And I was like, if I was not taking care of 2 ferals,
All right.
you would be
Love
mine.
you. Bye.
Twice.
I call my dad now. God damn it.
Meow meow.
Christ!
Yeah. Someone asked if we're gonna vlog.
I'm trying!
I don't.
Oh shit! Am I not muted?
Nope.
No.
Oh god!
There she goes. But I'll wait to do the pet peeve when Michie gets back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, so we went to PetSmart, and there was, you know, they always have a bunch of kitties, especially now because it's kitten season. And, you know, we always go in there and just say hi to the babies. And if they have the door open to pet them, you know, we'll pet them.
Yes.
And of course they did.
As you should.
And so there's this little one. She was a little tortie, and she was so soft. I was just like, why are you so soft? And what's up? I'm cutting prints and talking to Michie and Zodiac on my phone. But so we were, you know, messing with all of them, and she was being really sweet. But then just when we walked away, she was like started to do the little what is this called? Doing this, like scratching on the glass or something like that.
Pawing at it or whatever.
Pawing at it, and then her face. I took a picture of it. I was just like, oh no.
Okay, I come back and oh no! What the fuck happened?
It's because it's like kind of depressed. And
Yeah,
feeling good
yeah.
and happy, and it's like, oh, this thing
won't love me.
will love me. No, it won't. As soon as we get home, it's gonna be like, whoa, there's 4 other cats. It's gonna join our pack of cats,
Yep.
and Jelly's gonna teach it to be evil.
No, she is though. I was talking about a kitty today that I saw at PetSmart.
Oh my god, I love looking at the kitties at PetSmart.
Yeah.
Like last time we were there, we looked at some, and there was 2 that made me really sad because it was like, please adopt me with my boyfriend. We've had 3 litters together, and I'm like, oh. And they like, okay,
Yeah, I cut all of her.
Quais.
Oh, for diamonds and stuff.
Yeah.
Diamond looks cool.
Right. Yeah, this
Yay!
is also. I think Zodiac, you drew this, right? And then Michie
I colored it. Yeah, and then I drew one. He's not cool. He's not doing cons yet.
Quais.
Say that again.
I said he's not cool. He's not doing cons yet. Give him time.
Oh yeah.
Baby steps.
See, Zodiac, you don't have a Instagram, right? You just mostly have DA.
I have
He has
Instagram.
an Instagram. He has an Instagram and a Twitter.
Oh well, shit. Here you go. They have Instagram.
Yeah, it's all the same. He's the
This is
Zodiac
Michie's
Lord on
friend,
all of it.
okay? I'm learning how to like talk to this person. It's a child. I feel weird. Okay.
You guys are gonna meet him. What the fuck?
I know. What was it?
I said I don't want to be on no list either.
What did he say?
I don't want to be on no list either.
Yo, didn't we discuss this already? It's like if I like, sorry, 3-year-old, you're getting hit by a bus. I'm not ending up on the list. Your ass is dead. I ain't no pedophile.
But yeah, we're gonna meet Zodiac at San Japan,
Cool.
so we get to see the infant child.
And I'll be
Yeah.
legal by Saturday.
Yeah, by Saturday.
Shit. It doesn't matter. I do not have the look. Like people are like, yo, get that kid away from that dude.
That's gonna be great. Your mom's gonna meet him and be like, okay, honey, no. No.
It's so bad too because I'm sure I sound completely opposite of what I look like. Oh,
You're fine.
yeah.
Someone just said, because the title of my stream started as a solo stream, and then I edited it to say solo stream. Just kidding. Michie joins later. JK, again, Pastel is here. JK, there's a guy here.
JK, some fucking rando guy who doesn't want to be a pedophile showed up. How do you not have 20,000 viewers now?
Oh, the guy talking right now, that's Butter Guardian.
Yeah, that's my husbando.
Yeah, he is Pastel's husbando.
Yo.
Yo. And they might be vlogging and stuff, so I mean, if you want to be in it.
Oh yeah, let me know in advance, because I'm vlogging too, so I'll have to do what I do with Anna sometimes and show you from the chest down.
Yo, no, I'm gonna have to put like a sock over my head or something.
Make sure people know for a fact you're not a pedophile.
Yeah. Does he even have a face?
I can draw you a ooh-woo face on your song.
Oh my god!
Or use one of the meme cats that I always use for emoticons. Oh, the toast and the little bunny hat.
I don't know.
I
You should just put that on Radon
that
or
stupid
whatever.
picture so much.
Yeah, at this point, you should make that a shirt.
I will, eventually.
Just straight up nothing but toast heads.
Like that's a pattern. It's just
Yeah.
toast heads.
With like a cosmic background.
Oh, Lord.
Poor toast.
Yeah, he loves it.
He's so fat.
He is so fat. But okay, I need to get back
All
to
right,
work.
yeah,
So.
I'm gonna go. Later, guys.
Oh my god. So that turned completely random.
This was an event.
So what was the pet peeve you were waiting for?
So it's an artist
Sorry.
alley pet peeve. So okay, so my charms are on a little display so that people can touch them and flip them, and especially like for my Doki Doki Literature ones, they have the double-sided where
Yeah, they have 2 designs.
Yeah, so the back side has the glitch, scary side to them. hence why they're free. So people will be like, oh, look, Doki, and I was like, did you flip them? And they're like, oh, and they flip it. They're like, ah. But mostly it's a thing. Like when people touch it, they may want it. Like it's one of those things. And what makes me so irritated is when they're ready to buy it and they try to take it off the display.
Oh God.
I was like, do you not see that there's a ribbon through it securing it on the display and like safety pins that are now falling out because you're pulling on it? Please stop. Please don't take it. Stop.
Oh goodness. People are.
That was my artist alley pet peeve.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So far I haven't had many, but that was one of them. Or people constantly wanting to have a conversation with me, and I think you can tell that I'm done.
It's a mood.
Mood. Big fat mood.
Big mood.
Because I think I had one girl that was doing that, and she was really sweet, but it was really loud in there, and she was really soft-spoken, and she wanted to keep talking about like Higurashi and Umi Neko. I don't know how we got onto that. But I was like, I really like the show, but I haven't seen it in like 10 years.
Yeah.
So I barely remember what the characters' names are except Mion and Shion.
Oh, that's me! I was gonna say the only ones I know are Shion.
And fucking like the Golden Witch and from Umi Neko. But anyways, she wanted to keep talking about it, and I was like, I don't have anything else to add to this conversation. You've been here for like 20 minutes.
That's a mood.
Okay. It's like when I meet a BioShock fan, it's very rare because people will see my tattoo, and almost always I get one of two reactions, and it's usually the other one. And one is like, "Oh, cool! Is that a BioShock tattoo?" And the other one is like, "Do you know what that's from?" And I'm like, "Yes, it's on my skin."
No, I just found this on the internet and thought it looked cool.
No, one time I remember I flat out just said I loved drugs because I was not having it that day.
Shit.
But I have people who are like, "Oh, so you like BioShock?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "What do you like about it?" And I'm like, "Did you play the game?"
Shit.
Like, not in an elitist way, but I'm like, you can't really with a game like that, because that's a story-driven game. You can't. It's like explaining Life is Strange in one sentence.
Right. Oh goodness.
I liked the entire setting of BioShock.
Yes, I'm like, yes. Like, I literally lost my shit when we were driving one day, and I would you kindly stick her on their car? And I was like, Cody, I have to take a picture of this guy's car!
God.
I know, I'm a nerd, I'm sorry.
Oh goodness.
No, you're fine.
Zodiac, what is some of your advice for an artist having trouble developing their styles?
I think I talked about this earlier at some point, but I mean it was a while ago. But really just I know one key advice that I gave that I think a lot of more people need to hear is the fact that if your art style is inhibiting you improving your art as a whole, then your style might need to change. That's just a little thing. Your style should never be an excuse for not improving and experimenting in your art.
I mean, for me, like, I wanted to do anime shit for as long as I could remember, and none of it looked good. Mm-hmm. None of it looked good until one day I literally said, fuck it. And I just drew. I just drew something to draw it. And I looked at it and like, this looks kind of good. And then I worked from there.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. I tried to do like...
I think I'm gonna end the stream soonish, so just warning people.
Alright. Well, there's one more question we can answer after you were gonna say. You were gonna say?
That's about it.
Castle, weren't you gonna say something?
Oh, yeah. It was me a couple, years ago with, trying to draw semi-realism anime stuff. Like, it was okay, but it just wasn't... It wasn't there. It looked a little too forced. And then I was like, fuck it. I'm drawing anime.
You just you have the reverse style story.
Right?
Yes. Because I went from anime to trying to, maybe doing my own style. And then kind of, 4 or 5 years ago, doing this semi-realistic. Like, I have some old stuff that eventually I'll like do a video about because I found them the other day. I was like, oh, but I'll do a video on this. But anyways, it was kind of semi-realistic anime, and then it just wasn't looking right. And then I found one of my senpais, not senseis, one of my senpais, and I was like, God damn it, I really like anime. So, and here I am. I fall back into the anime.
Sky, God damn
I'm a weeb for life. What is Sky saying?
No, it's not that. It's
oh no! I just read it.
None of your choices actually matter.
No.
Someone was asking.
So last final question to wrap up the stream. Go.
Yeah. Okay, guys, quick, lightning round. Give us one question and we'll pick a good one. So give us as many questions as you can right now for us to answer, and then we're gonna end it.
Quick.
As I just sit here cutting Elven lead, Lucy, Prince.
Once we leave, I gotta cleanse. So.
Hey, gotta get clan.
Y'all get clan. I just keep cut.
Okay. Okay. Well, like, what kind of villains? You're saying villains, but like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, how, big villain? Because there are thousands of types.
Yeah. How to uwu.
How to uwu. Did you know I love and appreciate you all very much? Yes, Sky.
Thank you, Sky.
I'm pretty sure you alone have helped pay my rent at least 1 month.
Fuck. I mean, she has. For me too.
I'm still convinced that you're plotting to recruit us by doing favors for us, basically, by paying us so much, and yet I seem to be totally okay with it. So
yeah, me too.
Oh wait, so I have a question to Zodiac stream. So if Zodiac made merch and made an online store,
why again?
Would you guys buy it?
No shit.
I'm trying to help him here.
I know.
We have to try to pimp him out to his mom. Has really good shit. We have connections.
Yep.
He can make merch.
Get your stickers. Get
Someone
your
just
prints.
ask a question so we can end the stream.
Oh my god, the pumpkin spice latte came out today. I totally forgot about that. I get to have one. I totally forgot. I am a basic white bitch when it comes to Starbucks, okay? I will say that wholeheartedly.
I don't drink coffee.
Good. But it's so good. Especially when we went to a cafe here that was called 0 Degrees, and I tried this horacha iced coffee, and I was just like, help me. I have X-ray projected out from my body.
Okay, well, we're not getting really any art questions. I have one. It has to do with that villain one. I guess I'll just answer it because I know we talked about it before, but like, if you want to make a really, really good villain, I know we've talked about it before,
yes,
but you need to make the reasons understandable. They don't have to be redeemable in any way.
Yes.
But, like, a big issue I see is a lot of people... A good example is people, like, making, like, Joker knockoffs, where they're like, oh, this person is crazy for crazy's sake, and lol, random XD glomp face.
Yeah, it's...
But then it's like, you know... They never have any serious moments at all, and that's good if you want a very chaotic character.
You gotta know what you're writing, basically.
Exactly.
Like, if you're gonna write a villain that's gonna be like that, like just LOL, I'm crazy, then you're not gonna get people to sympathize with them.
Yeah.
So if you try to make people sympathize with them, it's not going to work, because there's nothing to sympathize with. You know? Other than that person's made you laugh a few times, but you're not really laughing with them, you're laughing at the things they do because it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a good example, I pride myself on this. I love Ringmaster. I know he's my character, but I love, because I worked really hard.
Listen, I love him too, okay?
I worked really hard, because I had always wanted him to be a chaotic character, but I wanted him to have a reason for it besides, like, lol, random XD.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? You know what I'm talking about, though. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I love Ringmaster, okay?
Thank you. But like, you know, Zodiac has some characters too who have done some pretty shitty things.
Wink.
But you understand what. You don't have to be like, it's not like, the people who were like, Charles Manson did nothing wrong. It's like, no. You calm the fuck down.
Wink, wonk.
Calm the fuck down.
No. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you need to have their reasons be reasonable. And if you want them to be like, there's two things to do. You have a villain where they can be redeemed, or you have a villain where it makes sense, but there is no way they can be redeemed. I have a villain like this.
That's why Solar exists.
Right? Like, hey,
no, so like, most of my villains tend to be realistic people. Solar's just a spoiled brat.
I was gonna say, hey Zodiac, there you go. There's a fusion you can make. Do Magpie and Solar. So whatever the fuck that mess would be.
Mega evil.
Mega.
It's Soul Pie.
Soul Pie! I love it!
Now I have to do it. I've named it.
So terrible.
It has to exist now.
But yeah, or a good one, a good example of a villain too is like, so a lot of people hated the villain in Civil War, Captain America Civil War. I loved it. I loved that it was literally a random guy whose family was killed.
Me
who was the guy's
too.
Just like a lot of people were like, you don't even remember his name. I'm like, that was the point.
Well, that's also because you know what? It addresses a very important aspect, like a very interesting aspect that doesn't get explored very often in superhero movies. The idea that how many people die from these events, which is like what Civil War was about in a sense. So the fact that the villain was the embodiment of someone affected by something who wasn't supposed to be, that works for like what the entire point of Civil War does. The idea of like, should we hold superheroes responsible for the accidental casualties?
Yeah.
Or do they get exempt,
Yeah, Sky said it too. She's like, he was just sad, determined man with nothing left. It totally made... Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. And he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. Yeah, he got to... but he got the heroes to turn on each other. He showed all these things, and like... That's what's...
Well, also, you know what? It also helps because the idea of Civil War 2 was the idea of like, who is right? These are characters that have always been the protagonists that we can always support, and now they're fighting each other.
Exactly.
So if the villain was some big evil guy that was like then you're like, oh well, see, there's the antagonist. They're just protagonists who are arguing with one another.
Yeah.
So the point, but that's not what Civil War was. Civil War was about these protagonists are now each other's antagonists. That's the story. Yeah,
and I love just how it made so much sense for everything too, like it a lot of people like, okay, because I forgot this, I'm gonna be honest, I forgot how much shit Tony Stark has gone through.
Oh yeah,
like because
it's really easy to forget because he's pretty chill.
He's pretty chill, and it was we rewatched the first Iron Man a couple months back, and I was like, yeah, I totally forgot he was a prisoner of war and like tortured for months and watched his own weapons destroy people. And then it's like, a lot of people I think seem to forget that Tony got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I'm still not on his side, only because Cap is with the muties. I have to side with my muties.
See, this is how you write realistic characters. Captain America and Iron Man in Civil War, neither side was inherently wrong.
Exactly,
they
were
valid
both right.
reasons to believe what they believed and take the sides that they did.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I thought it was a really good movie, because it's just, especially with like superhero movies in general, it's also a reason why I like Infinity War so much, because so often in superhero movies, it's a very clean-cut thing. Here's the hero, here's the villain. This is the person thinking the right thing, this is the person in the wrong.
Yeah.
So with, like, Civil War, suddenly it becomes a big gray area.
Mm-hmm.
And then
all
you don't
around
know.
me.
It's true, though, and I love that, like, they took the time to look into, like, everyone's things for it. Like, with Scarlet Witch having to pretty much be on, like, lockdown, and
And like and the way Black Panther got thrown into the mix because his dad got involved.
Yeah, because his dad got killed in front of him.
Yeah, and it was because of, and he thought it was because of Bucky. So
exactly.
It's like it was a very good character movie. Yeah. That's the point.
The one thing that does make me really sad though, is I know, and this is like lame, but it's true. It makes me sad. A lot of actors' contracts are coming up, and they've openly said they're not like signing on again. And I'm like,
I know one of them.
And I'm like, no, that means I know you're gonna die.
Oh no.
Because I don't know how else they're gonna do it. Unless they pass the torch on, but it's still not you. Baby. Baby, why?
Baby, why?
But another thing too is like, I don't know, I feel like some things Hollywood needs to like chill about with that. I know we're on this topic because you wanted to leave soon. But they're like, oh yeah, and by the way, we're working on the next Spider-Man movie, and I'm like, oh thanks for letting me know that he comes back.
Yeah.
Unless you actually decide to be ballsy and be like, this is an alternate universe Spider-Man, because I'm actually okay with that, because I don't want them to be like, this is a prequel. Because I'm like, no.
We've had enough of those. Thank you.
We've had enough of those, okay? Technically, Black Panther happens right after Civil War, and I didn't realize that because it came out last. Like, I remember, like, my brother had, like, fixed the timeline for me, because my dad hadn't seen the movies in theaters. So, my brother's like, okay, you gotta watch this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. But then wait, why did these two air out, like, a year behind each other? And my brother Brandon's like, I don't know, but this is the one that happens right before...
This is how Marvel do.
Yeah.
But yes. There you go. That's our tips for writing villains. Now that seems like a good place to end, and I clearly have a fusion I need to draw. So
also guys, all three of us are going to be at San Japan this weekend. If you live in San Antonio, Texas, and you want to go say hi,
or if you're just going to San Japan,
you can't miss my booth.
yeah. Pastel and I have booths. Zodiac's going to be creeping with Queen.
We're going to be running around. She's going to show me things because I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Because he's never been... Listen, that's why you have to vlog your end, because like, my first time popping my virgin con cherry.
I don't know how to vlog.
I don't either. It's okay. I'm doing my best.
Like, I should be... It's really easy. You take your phone and you record shit. What the fuck, guys?
But I'm so weird.
That's the point!
Like, I kind of said it in one of the vlogs I did. You know, I was just like, you know what's funny? I sometimes talk to myself to kind of get myself prepared for what I'm gonna say as soon as the fucking camera turns on. But then as soon as it turns on, it's like, I forgot how to talk.
That's me every day, all the time.
Okay, I spelled it wrong. It's in San Antonio, Texas this weekend.
What did you...
San Antonio.
Oh.
San Antonio.
I don't know how to spell. I don't live in Tejas.
It's
Antonio.
Oh. Yeah, it's at this. Pastel, you live there. Tell me where they need to go.
San Antonio.
Where in San Antonio?
By the Riverwalk.
There you go. Riverwalk San Antonio this weekend. Yeah,
it's at the Hyatt. I think the Hyatt Convention Center or something. I don't know. It's very big and really pretty. So
what a good place to end the stream.
Yep, right. And Pastel, Zodiac, and Quan are all staying in a different hotel than me and Holly.
Quite. We'll come visit. We'll go to Chewy's.
Well, you want to go with Chewy's?
Chewy's.
All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.